Okay, so while you've been gone, I've shaded in the wood cube with a light surface, dark surface, medium surface, and I've done the same with glass. I changed colour pencil because I think when you think of glass you automatically think blue colours or light colours, so I've just gone for a blue colour just there. Right, the wood one. So what we've got to do, imagine this is a block of wood and we've cut it. And if you cut a piece of wood, you get the grain of the piece of wood. So what I'm going to do on this dark surface, I've just gone for an ordinary pencil here, by the way. And we're just going to put in wood grain. It's a slightly curved line, as if this is a block of wood that's been cut in half. And you know, if you cut a tree, you see the rings. That's what we call the grain of the piece of wood. And I'm just going to draw lots of these so they're kind of following the same pattern. And again, don't be too neat. Don't necessarily do it as a single line like that. You can do if you want to, nothing wrong with that, but I just prefer to make them a bit fluffy, not too neat. And take that one to the bottom line there. I'm going to start making that gap a little bit wider, because wood grain is not all the same distance apart, and then I'll just put a little corner in there and a little corner in there, so that looks a bit like wood grain. Now where these lines touch the edge of the cube here, I'm just going to draw a line going along. I'm going to make this really quite faint on this one, so that's where it touches the middle line, and draw a line across. Oh, now I've done that deliberately, you'll see why in a second. I've done like a hump in that, and then I've done a hump that goes downwards just there. Follow that. They're quite wiggly, these lines, but I'm doing that on purpose. Don't want them all nice, neat and straight, because wood grain isn't all nice and neat and straight. It's can be quite wobbly. There you go, just put a little bit in there. Now the reason I left that that little area there is because I'm going to go back into there and I'm going to do a knot in the wood, because sometimes if you cut a piece of wood where a branch has been growing out of the tree, you get a knot which looks something like that. Okay, so I've done end grain, what we call end grain, on the dark surface. I've done grain going along the piece of wood, and I need to do the same going along the top, but I'm going to make the top lines as light as I possibly can, because this is the light surface. There we go, and again, don't make them too straight, make them a bit wobbly, a bit wiggly, and that will make it look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more like wood. And there we go, so you've now got a cube that looks a little bit like a block of wood, and that's just using an ordinary HP pencil. So we've now got a cube, a fabric cube and a wood cube. What about the glass? Well, the glass, if you think about it, glass is see-through. So even though I've shaded it in tones of blue, if this was really made of glass, if I go to that top corner just there, I'm actually going to draw a bit of a vertical line, and you can use a ruler for this if you want to. And draw a line that goes down like that. Now what about this corner here? If this was a see-through piece of glass and this was a cube of glass, you would see a line going like that, and again from this corner I would still be able to see through, so even though it's a dark surface, so you would see these edges through a piece of glass. Now what I'm also going to do, and I need to go and get a rubber to do this, we're going to put some highlights in this so that it looks like it's a reflective glass, but I need to go and get a rubber to do that, so we'll be back in a bit. Okay, back on the glass cube. So I've just been and collected a rubber, and what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use the rubber and I'm going to rub out along this edge, and the edge that goes down, just so it looks a little bit more transparent. So just get a rubber and rub away some of your colour pencil work. And then I'm going to go along this edge just here. Just so there's a little bit more white showing. Okay, so that's a rough idea of how to do glass. So we've now done shading, fabric, wood, glass. We've got metal and plastic to do. You probably won't get to do these in today's lesson, but if you have finished all of these four and everything on the left hand side of the page, what you can do is just do what we've done with all of these cubes. Keep changing the colour pencil if you want to, and shading the top surface very, very light, this surface very, very dark, this surface very, very medium, or just medium, okay, and do the same with the plastic. And then next week, in the next lesson, I'll show you how to make this look metal and how to make that look like plastic. But if you think about it, glass and plastic are going to be quite similar, okay? The metal isn't. We're going to do something different with the metal, but I'll show you that next week. So if you can get that far today, I'll be very, very happy. Okay? I hope you enjoy the lesson, guys. Just take your time with all of this. This has taken me quite a long time to do, so it'll take you a reasonable amount of time as well. And just enjoy experimenting, and don't forget there's no right or wrong here. Just have a go and try and improve your shading, rendering and texture skills. Shading is just what we've been doing. Rendering is adding different tones, and texture is making objects look like they're made out of a certain material. That's what we're trying to achieve today. Okay, speak to you next week, guys.